รายการนี้เป็นรายการทั่วไปสามารถรับชมได้ทุกวัย
สวัสดีครับ Hi, you're watching Hello English, your English program. I'm your host, Bukit Trairat. Now today we have a special day for all of you kids. We'll be taking a trip to Kidzania, located in Siam Paragon. And here, you can be anything you want, whether it's a sushi chef, an airplane pilot, a fireman, even a CSI detective. So let's go see just how much fun Kidzania is in English Magazine.
Hello everyone, welcome to English Magazine. My name is Gamonan Rudit, and today we're bringing you to Kidzania, Bangkok. Kidzania is located on the 5th floor of Siam Paragon Shopping Centre on the north end. To get here easily, simply take the lift up to level 5. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about Kidzania. Kidzania was founded in Mexico City, Mexico in 1991 and was opened for business in 1999. Right now, there are 13 different branches in 13 cities in 10 different countries. So let's get a ticket to Kidzania. The reason why the entrance here looks a bit like a check-in counter at an airport is due to Kidzania concept, which is when you enter Kidzania, you're stepping into another world. It's like a city or a country just for kids only, with its own currency and its own language. Going to Kidzania is like leaving the city where you really are, which is Bangkok, going through an airport to Kidzania, which is a totally different world.
So when you enter Kidzania, you get a ticket that looks like a boarding pass. Okay, so you check in and get your boarding pass or ticket, and you get a check for 50 kidzos. Kidzos are the currency of Kidzania. And you get a wristband to wear. Kids have to wear the wristband all the time while they're at Kidzania. It has many uses. It records what activities the child has done and can be used to track where the child is in case they might get lost from their guardians. You also get a map of the city. Kidzania, Bangkok, a land children dream of. At the entrance, the personnel will greet us with a Kai and make a K sign with their hand on their chest. That's the way of greeting in Kidzanian language. When you go to Kidzania, it's like going to a foreign country. There are streets and buildings that look like in the Western world. The city is well planned. They teach city planning at Kidzania too. In the city square, there are institutions like the police, CSI, the court, theatres and a bank. Now we're in the city centre. The very first place that all kids have to go is the bank, because they can cash in their cheque for 50 kidzos. Later we'll see what you can do with this money. Once kids have their kidzos in their hand, they can go to the different establishments to do different activities. There are 65 different stations called establishments. At these stations, the kids can try out playing the roles of 80 different careers. The kidzo's money, you have to spend it if you do an activity or try out a career that has expenses. If you take a cooking class, naturally the amount you get paid is more than the amount you invested in acting lessons. This helps teach children about expenses. So now you know what activities children can do to earn money. Before you can earn income, you have to invest in practice or skills development. It's not like kids can work at any career they want to right away. In the real world, some occupations require skills and practice. On the other hand, some occupations might not require that much specialized skill. Pretty much anyone can do it. Those conditions apply at Kidzania too. If children want to play at a career such as being a doctor, they have to have some biology skills, so first they have to go to the university station. Of course, Kidzania has its own university. After you get the skills, you can go to the hospital station and be a doctor. Let's start at the fire station. It's in the city centre. Kids who want to play at being a firefighter have to learn and practice firefighting methods and make their bodies strong. Then, all of a sudden, a fire might break out and the firefighters have to jump on the fire truck and rush through the streets to go put it out, like this. Let's see another interesting career, Japanese chef. The kids can try cooking. You have to pay kidzos at this station, but you get to eat what you make. At the dental clinic, kids learn about toothbrushing and oral health. There's also a cooking school, a place where you can practice climbing buildings, and many others. But now we're going to look at an establishment that is very popular at Kidzania, Bangkok, because it's the dream of many kids and adults too. It's a flight simulator. At this establishment you can do two things, be a pilot or be a flight attendant. Whichever you choose, you have to dress up in the appropriate costume. The pilots can practice flying in the flight simulator. Before they start, the personnel tell them a little about flight and the duties of a pilot. Being a flight attendant is another highlight of this place because the kids get to practice in a real plane. Every Kidzania branch in the world has an airline station like this, and each one has part of a real plane as part of the setup. They give the safety demo, and then they serve food and drinks. They push a cart. Like I said, the models in Kidzania are made to be child-sized, so even this cart is smaller. The only adult-sized thing is the plane I'm standing in. If you come here for one day and your child has not had a chance to try all the things they want to do, you can open an account at the bank and deposit your kidzos to use another time. When your child has had enough of trying out different careers, you will exit Kidzania Bangkok. You give back the wristband and then you get to the gift shop.
The other facilities in Kidzania Bangkok are a restaurant, a candy store, and a drink stand. The main rule here is that parents are not allowed to join the activities with the kids because they're for kids only. Parents can walk through and wait outside each station to watch, or alternatively, they can wait in the waiting rooms for grown-ups. For kids who are 8 years old or older and can take care of themselves, parents don't even have to pay the entrance fee to get inside Kidzania. They can leave them here to have fun by themselves all day. Now it's time to go.
Wow, Kidzania is so amazing. You know, I wish we had this when I was a kid. So if you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, maybe you can come to Kidzania and try it out for yourself firsthand. That's great. Well, up next, let's meet Nong Niu, who is a student at the Civil Aviation Training Center. And one day she hopes to have a career in aviation. So let's go meet her now in English Club.
Sawadee Hello everyone, welcome to English Club. I'm Tosatham Piam Samboon. Today we have a very special lady joining our program because she works in the aviation area. So we'll get to know more about the course aviation and the field of work when it comes to aviation, working with plane, airports, etc. So let's meet today's special guest. Please welcome Kun Niu. Sawadee Krab.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Sawadee Krab, Kun Niu. So before we talk about your career, could you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
My name is Karakot Kausuriyaporn, or you can call me New. I am 22 years old. I graduated Wellington Girls College in New Zealand. Now I'm currently studying the 4th year in aviation management, major in airport management at Civil Aviation Training Center.
Wow, so a very long profile, and you went overseas as well. So we'll talk
Yeah.
about that soon. But first, why did you decide to study in aviation?
Well, the reason I chose to study in aviation field is because I have a dream of studying about aviation management. And I have to tell you first that I personally like something about planning and sorting stuff. And I also have a dream of working in an airline. So I tried out very hard to find the information about the university and where it had a really strong aviation courses to be able to put the students directly to the aviation careers. And I found this one, the Civil Aviation Training Center. And I think it's the well-known one in Thailand, and it's internationally recognized by the International Civil Aviation Organization.
So when you say you love management, you love sorting stuff, it can
Yeah.
be in all kinds of business and platforms. But why airports?
I have really no idea. But yeah, I feel like I wanted to be a pilot and flight attendant at first time. So I searched myself and tried really hard about learning things like that.
Right, so talking about studying a course in aviation, obviously for many people it might be quite difficult. Were there any difficulty or obstacles that you faced while studying this career?
Of course, there are some difficulties as well studying here. You know, the careers in this field, we mostly use English for communication, or even the specific language or the technical words. They are all important. So I think English and language is important and it's hard. But fortunately, we basically train and learn from the beginning knowledge from since first year.
So English was part of the major that you had to learn when it comes to aviation.
Yes, of course.
And how did you develop your English skills? Because we're listening to it right now, and obviously you're very fluent.
Thank you. Well, I usually like watching films and reading books or some TV programs on free time when I'm at home. Yeah, so I think English is probably in my daily activities.
So you can learn English just from any platform, right? Like you
Yeah.
said, reading books, watching
Of
films.
course.
It can make
Like-
it a lot of fun.
When I think, when I talk, walk, or even driving, I listen English news or listening English music. So find something about what I like and then enjoying it.
Wow, that's a really great tip for everyone because English is all around. You can just choose the TV channel with English and you can choose radios with
Yeah.
English as well, which can help develop even when you're in Thailand. But talking about you now and studying overseas, why did you decide to study in Wellington in New Zealand?
Well, it started after I graduated Mathayom 3 in Thailand, and then I asked my dad to study abroad. So I decided and went to New Zealand.
So it was your choice, not
Yeah,
your parents'
it was
choice.
my choice.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I had studied in New Zealand for like almost 3 years since grade 11. Yeah, and I think studying abroad is challenging
Right.
because it's not only like communication, it's not only using English, but it's you're gonna meet new people, make some new friends, and of course you're living in another culture, so you get to learn it. So it's not only about studying in a high school.
It's
So
basically changing your lifestyle to
That's
suit
it.
theirs as well.
while it's challenging, but it's fun at the same time. Yeah,
So living in New Zealand for 3 years in Wellington, this was your choice.
yeah, it was my choice.
No one influenced you.
No.
What did you learn after 3 years living in Wellington, New Zealand?
Well, a lot of things. As I told you, that it's not only using English, but when you like go shopping or talking to your friends, you're living in a different lifestyle. It taught me a lot of that.
What was the most fun thing about going to Wellington and living there, apart from just meeting new friends and learning a new language?
What I like the most is studying in a high school because the student in high school, they can choose any subjects they want to study. It's not just like in Thailand. So in the first year, what I took is I took mathematics, science, and even dance in the first year.
Wow.
Yeah, and then for the second year, I thought that I still went on math and science and photography class and art as well.
Wow.
So yeah,
So it gives you a lot of freedom to
to
learn what
choose.
you want to learn,
Yeah.
right? And now, moving back to Thailand and continuing a career in aviation, your future plans, what do you feel like you want to do when it comes to aviation? Which field in the airport would you like to work in?
Well, when I was a little bit younger, I thought that I wanted to be flight attendant or a pilot, but as I grow up, I learned more about aviation and I realized that there's not only pilot or flight attendant relates to this field. There are more careers related to the field. Like what I'm talking about is when you want an airplane to take off or landing, it's not only pilots. There are some other careers. For example, the maintenance engineer or the airline management officers or even flight dispatcher. So I'm thinking about the safety management personnel. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming to. Because like I think every aviation students are trained to aware of the safety. Like safety comes first, right? So yeah, I'm thinking about safety personnel.
And it would be a great career as well because now that the ASEAN community has opened up, Thailand will be the central when it comes to traveling, logistics. So it must be such a great career.
Exactly.
And now for all the people watching this TV program who maybe want to study in aviation or develop their English skills or even go study abroad without having anyone forcing you or influenced you, can you please give them some motivation?
Right. I know that a lot of Thai students are very afraid of learning and using English, but maybe they're afraid of like making mistakes by mispronounce the words or you sound really Thai accents. So I don't want you guys to focus too much on that. So the first thing you must do is give it to go, encourage yourself about learning English and speaking English. So, and it depends on how often you practice English. Well, you can practice in your everyday, like by thinking in English, listening music, or even you drive, you talk to people. So yeah, it's okay to make mistake. Don't worry, but just be confident and keep practicing it. So one day your English skill gradually improve. So yeah, that's it.
It's such a great advice that you give us. English, you can learn it outside the classroom. That's the most important thing. It's okay to make mistake and surround yourself with English. This is very important because when you start something new, mistakes is inevitable. You have to make some mistakes, but learn from it. And also, instead of saying I have to be in the classroom or I have to live overseas, you can just say I can change the TV channel to listen to English. I can change the radio station. It's up to me.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much คุณนิวขอบคุณมากๆนะครั
ขอบคุณ
บ
ค่ะ
So there you go. You just learned from someone who wants to study in aviation, and as you can see, it doesn't matter which subject you study in. English is all around, and English is very important. So make sure you make English a part of your everyday life, and you can go further in life. But we're out of time, so we'll see you next time. สวัสดีครับ
Nong Niu is a great example of young kids in our generation because she has a dream and she is not afraid to follow him. So keep up the good work and we'll be cheering for you all the way. And now it's time for English Corner. Let's see what Ajahn Pui and Ajahn Kip have for us today.
สวัสดีค่ะขอต้อนรับเข้าสู่ English Corner ค่ะดิฉันปุ๋ยสีตาค่ะ
กิฟต์จิตรสุภางค์ค่ะ พี่ปุ๋ยคะ
ค่ะ
พี่ปุ๋ยเป็นยังไงบ้างคะวันนี้
Well I'm feeling a little depressed at the moment but I'm sure good times are just around the corner
พี่ปุ๋ยฟังดูนี่มีกำลังใจที่ดีเลยนะคะ แต่ฟังจากประโยคแรกเนี่ยบอกว่าพี่ปุ๋ยหดหู่เหมือนมีความหดหู่อยู่ แต่ประโยคที่สองเนี่ยบอกว่าช่วงเวลาดีๆจะอยู่ที่หัวมุมถนนเหรอคะ
หัวมุมถนน
ค่ะ
ไม่ใช่นะคะน้องกิฟ
เหรอคะ
just around the corner มีความหมายที่พิเศษอยู่2ความหมายด้วยกันค่ะ
อ๋อมี2ความหมายด้วยกัน
ใช่
อะไร
ค่ะ
บ้างเอ่ยคะ
ความหมายแรกนะคะคือเช่นระแวกนี้แถวๆนี้อย่างเช่น the market is just around the corner ก็คือตลาดที่เราพูดถึงเนี่ยอยู่ใกล้ๆแถวๆนี้ค่ะ
ค่ะ ถ้าอย่างบ้านกิฟอยู่แถวๆนี้ระแวกนี้เนี่ยนะคะกิฟก็จะบอกได้ว่า my house is just around the corner
yes that's right
ค่ะ
ถูกต้องค่ะ
แล้วอีกความหมายหนึ่งล่ะคะ
อีกความหมายหนึงก็เหมือนที่พี่อุ๋ยพูดนะคะ
ค่ะ
อย่างเช่นพี่อุ๋ยพูดว่า I'm feeling a little depressed at the moment ก็คือฉันรู้สึกหดหู่เล็กน้อยตอนนี้ใช่ไหมคะ but I'm sure good times are just around the corner แต่ฉันมั่นใจว่าช่วงเวลาดีๆเนี่ยมันอยู่ไม่ไกลจากนี้เท่าไหร่นั่นเองค่ะ
อ๋อ ก็คือเหมือนเร็วๆนี้
ใช่
กำลังจะเกิดขึ้น
ใช่ค่ะ
ใช่ไหมคะ ก็คือพี่ปุ๋ยหดหูอยู่ตอนนี้
ค่ะ
แต่อีกแป๊บหนึ่งช่วงเวลาดีๆ ก็จะเกิดขึ้นค่ะ
ใช่ก็คือเวลาอันใกล้
อ่า
หรือว่าจะพูดว่า the examination is right around the corner
อ๋อ
ก็คื
กำ
อ
ลังจะเกิดขึ้น
ใช่
กำลังจะถึงช่วงเวลาของการสอบแล้วล่ะค่ะ
นั่นแหละค่ะ
อ๋อ
ก็จะใช้ได้ค่ะ
จำได้แล้วค่ะ คราว
ค่ะ
นี้ต้องเอาไปใช้บ้างแล้วนะคะ
just around the corner ค่ะ
ค่ะ
วันนี้เราสองคนต้องขอตัวลาไปก่อนนะคะ พบกันใหม่คราวหน้ากับ English Corner ค่ะ สวัสดี
ส
ค่ะ
วัสดีค่ะ
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Unfortunately, it's all the time that we have. If you have any comments or suggestions you'd like to give us, please send it to the address on the screen. And also be sure to check out our show through any of these channels as well. I'm your host, Bukit Tairat. See you next time on Hello English. สวัสดีครับ